Hello, everyone. I'm Robin. I'm the founder of Uncrypted. So Uncrypted it's an incentivized learning program, and what we're doing is we are, trying to bring in, people who are not necessarily crypto native, or just people who are new to the crypto space and try to get them started in using decentralized applications, Web3 tools and services, all of that. So to give you a bit of background about myself, I am a writer for Ethereum push notification service. I am also a deputy to vice chair at an IEEE Standards Association called P2145, which is a working group that's working on blockchain governance. And we are trying to define standards for blockchain governance related terminologies. Other than that, I'm also co-founding a NFT collateralized lending platform, which is going to be built on Polygon. And now I'm also founding Uncrypted. Like I said, it is an incentivized learning experiment that I'm conducting, and because I want to see how much people will be willing to learn if they are incentivized, right? So it's more or less an experiment for me at this point. And yeah, so I'm definitely open to feedback and see how it goes. So it actually just launched today, so round one just launched today. So I'll just give you a small brief on that. So Uncrypted is like an incentivized learning experiment where we reward everyone who participates with crypto rewards. So round one will be like starting on the 5th of July, which is today. And so this entire process consists of two rounds, right? So round one is open for everyone to participate, and we have a prize pool, and we have reserved 50% of that prize pool for everyone who submits a valid submission during this first round. And round two is essentially for people who are have submitted the top submissions, and we will pick those submissions and those participants out of the first all of the submissions, and we'll award them 25% of the pool for just making it to that round. And then we'll tell them, hey, we've given you these funds, now it's your chance to now start doing much more tasks. Like, we'll give them extra tasks to do, and they'll complete that to compete for the grand prize of 138 Matic. And the idea is that by having this type of layered or tiered incentives, we are able to essentially provide incentives for everyone to participate. We have a current prize pool of 552 Matic that is like worth $600 at the time we actually made this Twitter post. So you can see this distribution actually happening over here. 276 Matic distributed evenly to all valid submissions of round one, 138 Matic distributed to those qualified for round two, and then 138 Matic for the grand prize, right? So in this way, we are actually so the better you perform, the more rewards you're going to get. So 276 Matic is like the majority of the distribution, but if there are 50 people in this participant list, 276 Matic divided by 50 is going to be much less. It's going to get diluted. While if you make it to the top 20 or 30 submissions, or if you make it to round two, you will get even a higher prize, right? And then if you make it to the grand prize, you get even more Matic. In that sense, we have curated this entire process in such a way that it's going to give you much more incentive to actually participate better. But we are not restricting you in a way that saying only the top participant gets rewarded, because your efforts still count, right? So what does it look like for you to participate? It means we'll provide you with a set of tasks. You have to complete those tasks, and then you'll have to create content exploring these topics covered in these tasks, and submit a proof of completion and content, and then you'll receive your crypto rewards. So yeah, this is just a brief that I'm saying. We have a social media community, Discord community. You're free to check it out, all of that. So yeah, the round one actually just started today. So if like I know for the DefiSummer hackathon, there is like a challenge for you to create an incentivized learning platform. So my agenda over here is for you to take a look at what we are doing and probably take some inspiration out of it, and maybe develop something based on the tokenomics and distribution of how we are doing it. Take some ideas of what we're doing and maybe show it in your own application. Also, if this is also like if you're also interested in participating in Uncrypted, we are still open. Like we don't have any registrations or signups or anything. We are like it's just open for all. Anyone can come in and participate. Your registration or your participation is counted by your submission, which you'll be doing via the Google form that we've provided. So what does round one actually consist, right? So round one consists of you setting up a MetaMask, connecting to Polygon, getting some free matic from the Faucet, and minting your first NFT, right? So that is like literally round one. So if you've ever used any Web3 application, if you've ever used MetaMask in your life, this is like pretty simple for you to already do. So like, is there anyone in the audience who has never used any of these applications?
Everyone's connected to Metamask before this year?
Is there anyone who has not connected to MetaMask, or like if you have, you could say that as well?
I haven't used Polygon before, but I've used like MetaMask on ETH mainnet.
Okay, perfect. So is there someone who does not know what MetaMask is? If you do not know, I'll go into greater depth on explaining what that means.
Is that Shohel? Yeah. Do you know how to use Metamask?
What? I couldn't hear you there.
Let's assume that people don't. Right now.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's assume that people don't. So what MetaMask is essentially is it is a wallet. So cryptocurrency is essentially currency. It is digital currency, right? So you need a place for you to store it. You need to store that currency somewhere, and MetaMask is basically just a wallet provider. It's just going to give you a UI UX for you to interact with your funds. And in the back end, you have two key concepts to understand. A wallet. So wallet basically consists of a private key and a public key, right? And a private key is essentially, it's like if you consider your bank account, you have a PIN number that is associated with your bank account, by using which you can withdraw your funds, you can transfer your funds, all of that stuff, right? And then you have a bank account number also. So the PIN number that is associated with actually transferring the funds, that is essentially your private key in a blockchain wallet, whereas your public key is essentially like the account number which you can give to someone else and say, hey, send some money over here, right? It is like the address that you're going to use. Your public address is what you're going to use to put it out in the public and say, hey, this is my address, I can receive funds, you can just send funds to this particular address, and the funds will be sent. Whereas a private key is something like it's supposed to be kept private. You should not show it to anyone. Don't share it out online. So MetaMask is essentially a tool for you. You can and it is also, the fun part about it is it's also a browser extension, so you can actually easily access it through your browser. So if I just try to log in over here, so as you can see, just mentioned that don't give out your secret recovery phrase, and now you see this is essentially just all that is, right? You have a public address shown over here. I've set up my MetaMask in such a way already that the secret key and all is stored. This is not an entirely new MetaMask, but you can create yourself one. You can just go to metamask.io and download MetaMask, and if you want, I'll probably show the entire process right now. So yeah, what Uncrypted is doing is exactly that. We are trying to reach the newer audience and get them started in using these applications. And all of that. So I've shown you all the price distribution, and we have like lots of resources for you to take a look at. If you ever want to deep dive into blockchain and all of this stuff, after this event, I can share you this link. So if you want to look at this, you can do that as well. So let me just go to walkthrough tutorial. So this is what I'm going to do for the bulk of the session right now. I've already recorded a video doing this exact same tutorial on YouTube. So if you want to if you want to take a look at this later, you can do that as well. So our first job is to install Metamask, which I've already done. But essentially, all you have to do is you have to just go to metamask.io/download and install Metamask for your browser. You just have to click it, and you will get connected to this, and you can just add it to your extension list. And once that is done, you'll get this. So if I want to show you the exact process for this, I'm going to just I'm going to try and remove this thing, and then I'll do everything from the start. Remove. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to install Metamask from scratch so that I can show you what this is, right? So I can show you the exact process, right? So if you have never used Metamask, you can actually now, using this, you can try and do it. So yeah, let's just wait until that comes. And the next step that you would need to do is, essentially just set up your private keys and your wallet provider, that's Metamask. And then we're going to connect to mainnet Polygon. And I don't know if we will have time to mint our NFT, but I'll try to do that as well. Yeah, so once your extension has been downloaded, you'll get a pop-up, and you have this fun little fox over here. Okay, so let's get started, right? So I'm going to create a new wallet for myself. So I'm going to hit create a wallet. I don't want my okay, and I'm just going to add some kind of a password, and create, right?
Wallet, not for your single like wallet. Like this wallet can hold many wallets inside of it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I'm going to get to that, right? So the fun thing about crypto wallets in general is you can have a single private key, but using that single private key is what you create your public key. And this you can have multiple public keys related to one private key, right? So MetaMask can actually generate new accounts or new public keys for you whenever you want. So once I just this is your secret backup phrase. I'm just showing this because I'm not going to use this wallet anymore. But if you're going to create your own wallet, please not share your private key anywhere. Keep it safe. Right now, I'm just going to copy paste it into some kind of a notepad, or let me see where I can. Let me just open up a notepad, and I'm just going to copy paste this. This is not the best secure way for you to do this right now, but I'm just going to save this over here. Okay, just demo. Come on. Okay, so as you can see, this is like a 12-word mnemonic phrase, or it's your secret recovery phrase. So if you ever, right? So if you ever lose your device, right? So the fun thing about, again, blockchain is everything is distributed. So the thing is, if you ever lose your device, or if you ever by mistake you might have deleted this extension, don't worry about it, right? As long as you have this recovery phrase with you, you can access your wallet using any device, using any wallet provider. So MetaMask is just one of the wallet providers out there, but you can use the exact same secret phrase, and you can use it to use your exact same wallet, and you will receive your funds. You can see all of your funds in another wallet using the same recovery phrase. You could use multiple different wallets like Trust Wallet. I think there are other Ethereum-based wallet, but the most popular ones are MetaMask, Trust Wallet, and I think Coinbase has its own wallet as well. But yeah, this is just these 12 word string is actually the key to your entire wallet, the key to your entire funds. So always make sure you back it up properly, write it down somewhere. Don't store it online always, because if your device ever gets stolen or something like that, you don't want your private key to be on that. So always take drastic measures, always expect the worst. So I've just copied this up. I'm going to click next, and now MetaMask will ask you to confirm that you've backed up your phrase. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm just going to take a look at this, and I'm going to try and do this. Script. Yeah, this is not going to take a lot of time, but I've actually just you just have to click all of these, and just make sure that you have it backed up. And once you confirm it, that is all you have to do. You don't have to give out your name, you don't have to give your email address, because this is a non-custodial wallet. It's nothing is being stored on any other server. Every credential is being stored on your browser itself. So it's a non-custodial wallet, and what that means is so what is the difference between a custodial wallet and a non-custodial wallet, right? It's there in the name itself. So what a custodial wallet does is, it's like if you ever trade in on a cryptocurrency exchange such as Binance or Kraken or Coinbase, right? What you'll notice is you have to log in with a username and a password, and you are never interacting with something like a private key or a public key ever, because all of that is being done by the exchange itself. They are handling the keys for you, right? And that means you're using a custodial wallet, and it means you're giving custody of your funds, because whoever has access to your private keys has access to your cryptocurrency, right? And that means that there's a famous saying in the crypto world that not your keys, not your cryptos. Hence, it creates a problem where centralized exchanges may be able to rug pull you. I mean, there are cases where recently I think in Africa a centralized exchange just literally rug pulled people, and they just ran away with everyone's money. And the reason they could do that is because they have access to your funds, they have access to your private keys, and you don't have access to your private keys. If you ever want to actually have full control of your cryptocurrencies, you need to have a non-custodial wallet. And a non-custodial wallet is essentially what we've created here. That is, you are taking the liability of securing the keys by yourself. So this sometimes leads to a UX issue, right? A user experience issue, where you are not you have to take that liability of saying, hey, if I lose my funds or if I lose my private key, it is up to me, it was my fault, right? So you are not giving your cryptocurrencies custody to someone else. You yourself are holding those funds. So there is like a key difference of what custodial wallets do and non-custodial wallets do. Custodial wallets are generally more user friendly, like for non-techno people. For non-techie people, it's usually much more user friendly, whereas for more people, for people who are tech oriented, or at least they have learned about the space a bit more. Even if you are not a techie, if you know how to manage and secure your data, you are most definitely going to you won't have trouble using this. So we have set up our MetaMask right now, and so what is our next step, right? So when we go back here, our next step is to connect to mainnet Polygon. So what does that mean, right? So what we'll do is we'll go to this documentation site of Matic, right? And we'll have to connect to MetaMask. We have to connect to Polygon using MetaMask, right? So it's actually a pretty straightforward process. So if you actually move over to the, if you actually go to this wallet, which is over here on the top right, you can see a couple of interesting things. So you can see your main balance here, which is 0, obviously. And then we have, we have buy, send, swap, all of this fun stuff. But over here, you'll actually see your, public address. And this is the address that you'll use, if anyone wants to send you money, you'll share this address to people, right? And also another fun thing is over here you can see a small circle, and once you click that, you'll see that you're currently on account 1. So, but earlier I mentioned that you can create multiple public addresses using one wallet itself. And what MetaMask allows you to do is you can create a new account, and when you create that, you can name it anything you want. You can notice that the public address has changed. And if I go back to account 1, you can see 5028, and in account 2 you can see 3F7B, right? These are two different public addresses, but in the back end you still have one single private key, right? If you use your private key, you can still recover both these accounts if you have funds on both of them, right? So that's the power of the private key. As long as you have the private key, you can access all of the funds you have, which is on any different number of accounts associated to that private key. And also, if you look at this top bar over here, you can see Ethereum mainnet. And if you click on that, you can see the different networks we have. So MetaMask by default supports the Ethereum mainnet and is connected to Ethereum mainnet by default. But you can also see, 4 different test networks. And these test networks are, basically just, the cryptocurrency that is on these test networks have essentially no value, because they are like dummy money or play money, which are used by developers to test their applications in a real life blockchain scenario and in a real life blockchain, so that they can get a sense of how these things are working, or if their smart contracts have any bugs or anything. But on Ethereum mainnet, so when you're on mainnet, any cryptocurrency that you have in your wallet has monetary value, so you have to be extra careful while spending and doing transactions on top of it. So the reason we're going to now connect to Polygon is because Polygon itself is a layer 2 or a side chain that is built on top of Ethereum. So the reason we have this layer 2 is because Ethereum, as itself is very inefficient, right? Its transaction throughput is 15 transactions per second. And that is not scalable if you want lots of people to start using blockchains and cryptocurrencies. And also another thing is that because of this restriction in how Ethereum works and its inefficiency, the problem is that you have huge gas wars or transaction fee wars that's happening on this network. The idea is that if you want to actually put up a transaction on the blockchain, or if you want to send a transaction, you have to pay a certain transaction fee. But the thing is that the nodes, right, the people who are actually mining these transactions, they actually prefer transactions which have a higher transaction fee. And the thing is, you can set your own transaction fee. So hence, there are people who set up a higher transaction fee because they want their transactions to go faster, which leads to essentially a war where people who want their transaction to go absolutely fast, they put up higher transaction fees, which increases which decreases your chance to be included in the next block, or in the your transaction to be included in the next block if your transaction fee is low. So usually on average, the Ethereum's their transaction fees are usually around $20 to $30, which is very expensive if you want to just transfer. If you just want to transfer to your friend $10, having to pay $30 or $20 of fees is ridiculous, right? So there are solutions being built, and one of those are Matic. Like Matic is now known as Polygon. And what they do is they basically, take some of this traffic, right, and they have the side chain with their own consensus mechanisms and their own, set of rules. And the thing is, the magic about it is, the transaction fees that they have is like $0.0001, right? It's much more efficient for you to have to transact on Polygon at this time. So we're going to connect to Polygon, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to custom RPC, and we're going to just fill up the stuff. So so most of the stuff is already saved for me. but you'll have to just fill this up. And also make sure you are going to polygonscan.com. So for the block explorer, please make sure you're putting polygonscan.com. The reason is that the older version just got deprecated, so you'll need to use the recent version. So I'm just going to save this, and we'll be automatically connected to Matic mainnet, right? So we have now connected to Matic mainnet. And what is the next thing we need to do? We can get some funds. So another awesome thing about Polygon is that we can actually get free Matic, which has actual value, through a Faucet. So a Faucet is basically just an application that will give you free cryptocurrency in a very minimal way. So you will get what probably at this point you will probably get from this Faucet 0.0005 Matic, right? So it's enough for you to do at least 100 transactions on Matic. At least 100, yeah. So at least 100 basic transactions can be done on Matic using this fund, right? So this is pretty useful for you to get started and actually start using some applications, or to send some money. So if we want to first connect to this, let's try and connect to this. So this is how you actually connect to actually decentralized applications. All you have to do is click a button and Metamask pops up. You have to just choose which account you want to connect to. I'm going to choose connect account to, click next, and I'm going to connect, right? And now you'll notice that our address has automatically come over here. And I just have to verify myself as a human. I hope I do this right. I hope this is a plane. I'm not really sure if that is. I hope I'm right here. Okay, perfect. And now I'm just going to click receive. One thing about the site is there are multiple people trying to actually get funds at the same time, and sometimes this application cannot manage all of these requests. So sometimes this faucet doesn't work as expected, so you'll have to reload the page sometimes, and I'm not sure if it will work this time as well, right? I'll probably have to try this 2 or 3 times for it to work. If it doesn't work on the first try, I'm probably going to move on to the next step and mint the NFT, because the minting the NFT actually is taken up, the cost or the transaction fees is being taken up by another by the site provider itself. So I don't actually need gas fees. I don't need any Matic to actually get this transaction going. But I'm just waiting for it to just to see if it works. Meanwhile, let's just take a look at what we have to do next. Right? Okay, so let's take a look at what the Block Explorer is, right? So the Block Explorer is essentially Polygon Scan, right? So I mentioned Polygon Scan, so let's just go to polygonscan.com, and this is a Block Explorer. So if you have never actually interacted with a Block Explorer, a Block Explorer is basically just it's just a website where you can actually track what are the latest blocks, the latest transactions. You can see how many blocks are there on this blockchain as of now. You can see transaction throughput, all of that stuff. But more interestingly, you can actually go to your MetaMask. You can copy your address and you can search your own address, and you can actually see all of your transactions on this network. But currently, right, it's a new account, so I can't literally see any of my transactions, and I don't think this site is working as of now. But if you actually have transactions on this, you can actually see it. So let me try and see if I have any transaction hash. Yeah, so I have a transaction hash which I use. So this is a transaction of me minting an NFT for the demo, for a previous demo that I did. So if you can actually take a look at all the transactions on the network using this Block Explorer, right? Polygon Scan. You can see all of the transactions on Polygon using Polygon Scan. In a similar way, there is Ether Scan for Ethereum, BSC Scan for Binance Smart Chain, and so on, right? So for Polygon, it's Polygon Scan, and you can the first thing you'll notice is we have something called as a transaction hash. right? A transaction hash basically just acts like your it basically acts. It's like a file number or a folder number you have, like and this file number itself has all of the will be like the pointer to where all of your transaction details are stored, right? So if you just type in this exact same transaction hash on the search bar, you will get redirected to the same page, right? So that's how it works. It's just a pointer to this transaction itself. And so we can see our certain information, like the status, the block number, and we can see the number of block confirmations this has had, the timestamp of this transaction, so when did this transaction take place, from where did this transaction get started, and the contract that actually that was used. So this is an NFT based contract. So this contract itself is an ERC-721 contract, and you can actually see that over here. So this, as you can see, this is an NFT v2 contract. And what actually happens when you are minting an NFT is that you're actually calling a certain function called as safe mint. And what this function does is that it just puts in this this parameter of 2. So where is the 2 going? So I minted my NFT to this address. So this address is put in as a parameter. The token ID is put in as a parameter. That's 2170. And once we just call this function, the NFT mints, the transaction goes through, and this is what you get as an output, right? And you can actually just go in and see this, this NFT. So yeah, I'm not able to get any Matic because of this site, but I don't want to waste my time actually reloading this page and trying it again. So I'll just jump right into the next part of this tutorial, right? So let's first try and mint our NFT. So this NFT minter, so mintnft.today is a site where you can actually mint your NFT for free. You don't even have to pay a transaction fee. All you have to do is put up your file, put in the title, the description, and you can just mint it for free on the site. And if you have NFTs on Ethereum mainnet or on your Gurley testnet, on the Gurley testnet, you'll be able to bridge that over to Matic network. So if it's on testnet, it'll probably get bridged to the Mumbai testnet, and if it's on ETH mainnet, it'll get bridged to Polygon mainnet or Matic mainnet, right? You can also bridge your NFTs over here. So what's going to interest us today is going to be this NFT minter, and so we're going to connect our wallet. So once we connect our wallet to Metamask, let's hit connect, and yeah, perfect. I hope that's got connected. And yeah, you can always confirm if you've got connected to any site by taking a look at Metamask over here. And I can probably try and mint an NFT of something. So let's try and mint an NFT of, say, this image. And if you look at the top right, you'll see file uploaded to IPFS. So what an NFT is essentially is, right? An NFT on Ethereum at least it's just I just showed you the code, the ERC-721 contract, and each NFT itself has it has a metadata of this image itself. And what that does is you can have the name, you can have you're able to see the title, you can see the description of it, you can see how many there are, and the metadata also consists of the link to the image itself. So we're not storing the image itself on the blockchain. We're just storing the hash or the reference link of it on the blockchain, whereas the content or the image itself is stored on some other device or server, right? At some cases there are it's usually stored on centralized servers, but to be more decentralized about it, because if it's on a centralized server and we just mint an NFT but the centralized server goes down, that NFT image or that art piece is not going to be visible on the blockchain at least, right? So it's not effective. So we need to store our images on a decentralized network like IPFS. So what is IPFS? IPFS is Interplanetary File System, which is a distributed storage network which is specialized in holding images, folders, files, all of that stuff, right? It is specialized in that, whereas Ethereum, Polygon, all of these blockchains are more specialized in transactions and actually running applications using Solidity code rather than storing files. So we have already a distributed network that is specialized in this. So what do we do is we put our image on this distributed storage network, take the content ID or the hash or the reference link of that content, and we're going to put that on the blockchain. So now we've uploaded our file on IPFS, right? And everything is happening on the back end. You don't have to you don't know all of this. I'm just telling this to you so that you understand what's happening behind the scenes. So I'm gonna just put in like uncrypted round 1 is live, right? Is live, and I'm going to put in the description that uncrypted is live now on the 5th of July. Okay, perfect. So this is my description, this is my title. Just copy this just in case. And yeah, I'm going to mint an ERC721. That is a single image. If you want to mint batches of this, so right, if you want to mint probably 20 of this, you can mint it, but it will be using the ERC115 standard. But we just need one of this NFT, so we're just going to mint ERC721. And all you have to now do is mint your NFT. So I'm just going to click it, and hopefully this works as well. If it doesn't, we'll try again, because it usually works on the second try, but this worked on the first try itself. And now you can see, right, your NFT has been minted. So now it is on the blockchain, the transaction has gone through, and now you can actually see the transaction hash. So let's see what happens when I click on this, right? So I clicked on this and you can see a similar transaction page, right? So you can see this transaction hash. This is the exact same hash that's going to be shown over here. And we just we just went back to Polygon scan, and we are able to see this exact transaction that happened 16 seconds ago with 5 block confirmations at the block number so and so, which was minted from this address. So this address actually it bared the transaction fees. So I believe the mint NFT.today has set up this address in such a way that it acts as a relayer of our fees, so we ourselves don't have to pay the transaction fees. And we have interacted with this contract, as you see over here, and you can see 0000. This essentially means a brand new NFT got minted. It does not transfer from one account to another. It has no previous owner, so it's 0000, and now it has gone to our address, that is 3F7B1. If you check our MetaMask, you'll able to see 37FB, right? So it's literally the same thing. We minted an ERC721 with a token ID of 2262, non-fungible token, etc., right? But as you can notice, we can't actually see the NFT itself, right? We're able to see the transactions, we're able to see token ID, we are able to see all of this, all of the important stuff, yes, but we're not able to see the title itself, we're not able to see the transaction, we're not able to see most of the important stuff. We can query different things and try to get the metadata from this, right? But this is not user friendly. This is not what we want when we are thinking about NFTs itself, right? So what do we do about that? So Polygon scan is not actually, it's not optimized to view NFTs, right? It's optimized to show you transactions, but there are applications out there that will show you NFTs itself. So what you can do is one of those applications or websites is called as OpenSea. So OpenSea is the biggest NFT and one of the first NFT marketplaces out there, and they support Polygon, right? They are also able to view Polygon NFTs. So not all sites or NFT sites can support Polygon NFTs, right? Not all NFT marketplaces can support Ethereum NFTs. So certain marketplaces work for certain networks, right? So OpenSea has recently actually they have supported Polygon, and you can not only see your own NFTs, you can actually take a look at multiple NFTs by different people, different artists. You can see art-based NFTs, you can see music-based NFTs, domain names, virtual worlds, trading cards, collectibles, sports, utility. There is a lot of things that you can actually see. You can even take a look at these NFT pieces. You can try to buy them if you want. Wrapped CryptoPunks if you are interested in that. Reddit, so see, Reddit even released their own set of new NFTs, right? So this is like pretty awesome stuff, right? You can buy this. This is like collectibles. But now what we are interested in is we're going to connect to our own wallet, and we want to see our NFT, what we just minted right now. So we're going to connect to Metamask, click next, connect, and we have successfully now connected to OpenSea, right? So now let's go to our profile. And yeah, you can see like it's unnamed. You can add a name for yourself on OpenSea. But if I scroll down, you'll notice that our NFT is here. So we actually minted our NFT somewhere over here, right? We added our title, we added a description, and now we can see it over here because OpenSea has automatically taken a look at our address. It has queried if there is any NFT in our possession and has found it, and you can see a small sign over here that shows that it's blockchain called Polygon, right? So it supports Ethereum as well. So if it is minted on Ethereum, you'll see the Ethereum logo. So let's click it and see what information we can see. So we can see the name of the contract that minted this NFT. We can see the title that I gave to this NFT, that's Uncrypted Round 1 is live, and it's owned by me, right? It's owned by my address. I can see the image. I can take a look at the description. Uncrypted is live now on the 5th of July. And I can even see my trading history. So if you've ever gonna transfer the ownership of this asset or this NFT itself, you'll see all of the transactions being shown here as trade histories. And if you want, you can even put this up for sale. If I click sell, I can set up a price. I can set up I can put up a listed. I can schedule my listing. All of this fun stuff. But I obviously know this is not good. This NFT is not going to be valuable. It's just for demo purposes, right? But you can do that, right? And if you want, you can scroll through and see different NFTs that are being created by different people. And if you are interested, you can try and buy them, right? So this is this is like your first introduction to the the Web3 space. I feel like NFTs are like the most easy to understand things for you to get started. And for you to mint NFTs, all of this is like pretty easy for you to actually get started on. And if you actually think about it, this is the task that we have set up for round 1 of Uncrypted. So if you actually just go through all of the steps that I just did, right, and you mint your NFT and you view it on OpenSea, now all you have to do is if you just do these exact same steps and you fill up this form that we have set up for you, providing your name, Twitter ID, all of this stuff, you can also earn crypto for just doing this. But the only catch is that after you do these tasks, you have to create some kind of a content that is you have to create some kind of a content and share it with your network. And what this content is basically, it can be anything, right? We're not restricting you on the type of medium that you're going to choose. So it could be a video, it could be an audio, it could be a text type of thing. It could be posted on Medium, it could be posted on Twitter, it could be a Twitter thread, right? It could be a TikTok video, it could be a YouTube video, it could be anything that you want it to be. Our only ask is that it is somehow related to the task that you did, right? At least that is what we want at Uncrypted, right? So we just want you to show what you've learned out of this experience. And if you are up for it, you can create your own tutorial on how to do these exact steps. Maybe you can do it in your own language or something like that, right? Do it in your own local language, or you can recreate a tutorial, share it with your friends and family, all of that fun stuff. But the main thing is that we are incentivizing everyone to do this, and we feel like NFTs is the easy to go thing. Now, as an added bonus, if you ever want to try out DeFi based applications, right? Let's try and go to QuickSwap, or let's go to app.sushi.com. Let's see.
Sorry, I just have a quick question about the submission. I just noticed it said you can use any medium, but it also says something like you need to post on Twitter. So do you need to? Yeah.
Yeah, so you can use any medium, but we just want you to post it on Twitter so that we are able to share it, and also we are able to track it much better, right? We will help you retweeting it. It's optional for you to share it on Twitter. Yeah, so optional but recommended. So you can share it on Twitter. It's just better for us so that we can track everything on one same platform, and we can help retweet it and share it with our circles and all of that stuff. But yeah, any platform is like, if you have a TikTok video or a YouTube video, you can just put that link on a tweet and just share it, right? So it's not much of a hassle for you if you've created your content, right? So it's not much of a hassle. So yeah, I highly recommend you posting it on Twitter, because it helps us as well. To especially to get better reach out there. So yeah, but it's all totally up to you where you want to share it. As long as we have the content link over here and it's publicly available. We prefer things are that are publicly available, so that we can actually take a look at it, right? So don't keep it private, or keep it unlisted or something like that. Hopefully you keep it public, but if it's a YouTube video, you can choose to keep it unlisted. But yeah, again, that's your choice. But we just want to take a look at your content and be able to possibly share it around.
Yeah, I was just asking because I use YouTube and Instagram. I just don't use Twitter, and I don't really have like friends to share it with on Twitter. So I have to make an account. That's why I was asking. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, you probably have to create a Twitter account to actually submit, because we require you to retweet the announcement post and tag two friends. But it's not a very hard, or it's not a hard stop. So you can just just create a Twitter account just for the sake of it and just do it. We're not going to check your follower list or anything, right? It doesn't matter. All we just want is it's just so that we can have some activity around going on. But other than that, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just make a Twitter account, and okay.
Perfect.
Questions about like the design behind learning Incentivization, and kind of like a little bit of like the future of Uncrypted. So like, right, so the first question is like being like, why did you guys decide to do learning incentivization for crypto and Web3 as opposed to like STEM in general? Like why did you guys kind of find this niche in your education? If you want to explain that.
Definitely. So mainly because I am in the crypto space, mainly, and also because So the first thing was like, right, this thing I didn't actually expect to. I was not actually expecting to try and scale this in any way. At first, I just wanted to incentivize my friends and family to get started in crypto. So during the bull market, right, especially during the bull market, I got a lot of people coming to me and saying, hey, how do I invest in Bitcoin? How do I invest in Ethereum? But they are only taking a look at the investment side of things, right? They just want to buy some Bitcoin and put it on a centralized exchange without actually making that money work for you, right? But they don't actually realize what actual utility you can do with all of this Web3 technology. They don't actually understand the technology behind it. So what I wanted to do was get them started on this. But I also understand that you might not be interested as much to get started on it. Even if you have some amount of interest, you might not be as interested to get yourself started on it. So let's provide some kind of an incentive to get you started, right? So at first I was thinking, like, I actually started off this idea with maybe like $50 or maximum of $100 out of my own pocket. But then when I thought about why not of scaling it, I started asking people for donations and contributions, and eventually we raised a total prize money of 550 to Matic, and we're using Polygon because essentially, right, because of the transaction fees. When a newbie is coming, so at no point in this tutorial did you see me signing a transaction saying, hey, I'm going to pay this much amount of gas fees or transaction fees as well, right? So it's completely beginner friendly. You don't have to pay a dime from your pocket. So I thought that all of these elements that are only applicable in the crypto world is going to go a long way. And I wanted to bring people into this crypto world, right? I see already a lot of people, on Coursera itself, you have a lot of courses on STEM related things, even though they're not necessarily incentivized. There are already, people doing a lot of courses on this, but there are not necessarily enough content out there for spreading the word of decentralized web. So I wanted to take this as a first step on trying and seeing how well can we bring people to a spot where they're not very sure about how all of it works, or try and bring all of these newbies into the space, especially in a space which is clouded with a lot of misconceptions, I would say, right? We have a lot of misconceptions in the space. People think it's just free money that's being pushed around, or it has no actual utility. So I wanted to break that myth. So that's why one of the reasons is to go crypto first. I haven't actually thought about going to STEM subjects as well. It could possibly be there, but actually verifying on-chain transactions is very much more easier for us, and also I didn't have any time to actually build an application that will take a look into other sort of stuff. So all of this transactions and all of these links that we'll be putting up in this form will be manually checked by us, so that we can make sure we award everyone who has completed the tasks and stuff, right? So yeah, that is one of the reasons. I hope that answers your question.
And it kind of answers my question, but one thing that because this is like in your MVP, you are manually checking, and kind of one of the things I see for the most potential is to automate this using web, and so that's kind of where I saw like the reasoning behind that. So like, when do you kind of, what is like kind of the do you have any timeline? I know this is like an experiment, but like what are kind of like the next steps into integration, and yeah, can you touch on like validating the learning objectives, because that's something when designing our own learning apps, it's hard to do, especially for STEM concepts, where it's way easier to check a transaction. Although you're doing it manually, you can do it automatically.
Yeah.
Kind of like
And
outline the rollout.
so yeah. So the thing is, right? You're not only getting, you're not going to get the award or the reward by just completing these tasks, right? You have to also create some kind of a content for yourself. So you have to create some kind of a content. So this is basically going to be us manually checking what content you have created, and we'll basically there'll be some kind of a grading system, so that we select the top submissions and bring them over to the next round. But the idea is learning in public, right? Once, especially as a newcomer to this, if I'm a newcomer to the space and I see all of this stuff, now I have to create content, but I want that money, right? I have to create some kind of content. So now I'm being forced to learn in public, and learning in public is basically just a way of saying, I have learned something new. Now it's time for me to share that whatever I've learned to the outside world. So not only do people know that I know something about this space, but I also, while creating this content, I actually, subconsciously, I actually try to understand it more, because I don't want to write anything stupid, or I don't want anything dumb to be put out there by my own work or by my own hand. So I have to actually do a bit to actually try and understand what's happening, so that I can create that content. So learning in public is, it has proven effective to me. So I assume it will be effective to at least some of them out there who will be creating content for this, right? So yeah, so that is how we're going to, at least for now, it's a very manual process. I am planning to scale it, however, but the exact plans for that are not in it's not set in stone yet. But we have plans to automate it, especially the on-chain part of it. And also try and create some kind of an automated grading system or a peer review type of grading system, because I've seen peer reviews grade systems that's been there on Coursera and all of that stuff. So when you tell people that if you want to progress to the next part of the next part of the course, right? In Coursera, I've seen courses where if you want to progress to the next part of the course, you have to complete an assignment. But not only do you have to complete an assignment, you have to also peer review, at least two others assignments. So there'll be like a forum where you can, peer review that, or there'll be some kind of a grading software out there or a website where you can, grade it. You can do a peer review, and once that is done, you are moving on to the next step. So that usually, democratizes the learning experience. So I hope that might help. But yeah, it's not set in stone. I have not exactly, gone in detail on how I'm going to scale this, but there are plans of, trying and do this in an event-based format where we'll eventually have some kind of, rewards to be given out, and also some amount of automation, while also trying to keep a bit of a human element, because at the end of the day, when it comes to certain things, I feel like human involvement is also required to an extent. Also, yeah.
What I was like what I kind of envision in terms of like each kind of step, or like pasting the address of where you got, and it like boxing throughout this form, and maybe even making an aggregator of all the posts, and making content creation itself an NFT, and aggregating that could be like rooms for automating that. But like one another question that I had is like, what some more technical stuff, like how does you may not know this, but how does the faucet, like that's a real I've never seen a faucet on mainnet, to be honest. So how does the faucet and the NFT minter, like how do they fund that, like where's that coming from?
Yeah, definitely. So let's go to that matrix supply site. Yeah. So one of the problems with these faucets, right? It's not going to always work because there are too many people actually trying to use it. So you can see this address right here, right? So what actually happens is there are people who are actually sending this into a contract or into an account, right? So actual people in the community are funding an actual address. So if I go to polygonscan.com right now, and if I just put up this copy paste this address, and I go to this address, you'll see that there is 21 matic in it. And this 21 matic did not come out of nowhere. There are actually people donating some amount of matic, right? So as you can see, 0.02 matic is being donated by people, right? And 0.005 matic is being taken out by others as well. So you are actually able to see, people actually funding it because they want new people to come and use Polygon. They want people to actually try out Web3. So, it's just a way for people to say thank you. And also it helps people because since the fees are low, people actually get very aggressive with the way they trade on Polygon. So the problem is, like, if you're, for example, on Aave, right? If you're on an application like Aave, you want to deposit some matic, but by mistake, you might have clicked max and you might have deposited it, right? Now the problem with that is now you've used up all of your matic, and now you don't have any matic to actually withdraw your assets anymore. So you're basically stuck in limbo unless you convert some unless you bridge some matic from Ethereum mainnet, or you convert some fiat to matic and send it to the Polygon network, right? So what now the community has done is, right, you can now go to this faucet and get enough matic so that you can now withdraw those assets, right? So it's just a tool so that now you don't have to always rely on your own money to actually to transact some amount of funds. You can always come to this faucet, click on this, and it will work. But it doesn't work always. It's not the best site out there. It's a very it's a very basic site. I don't know why it's not working. Let me try this again. But yeah, the main point is, and I hate this captcha things.
One thing,
and I'm very I'll just leave this. I'll just leave this.
Can you
Yeah.
can you show the export private key function on MetaMask? Because I wanted to see both wallets to see like whether they were actually the same private key. Because I was under the impression that these were like they were completely different wallets in the back to the aggregator.
Okay. If I just go to settings and I go to security and privacy, if you go to MetaMask settings and go to security and privacy, you'll see this option called as reveal secret recovery phrase. And if I click on this, I have to write my password because, they keep it very secure, or, they try to keep it secure enough. And you can see loyal script, whatever this is. And I'm pretty sure this is the same. Yeah, it is the same thing, right? I've saved this thing. So it's the same exact same secret recovery phrase. Now, if I go to, again, if I go to Metamask, and now I'm going to change my account to account number 1. I don't want to connect, like I'll just simply connect to the site. Now, if I again, go to settings.
Real quick though, because this has been, because there's an actual like export, like it gives you the hash. There's a, if you go to account details.
Wait, yeah, I think there is an option to export your private key, but I think that's more on the mobile, but I'm not sure. Let's see.
It's on here. You got to go to go all the way back, and then there's gonna be the 3 dots, and then the account details is where it's at. So like, because I always thought these were different. So I'm looking at, I didn't know the law was. So account details.
Account details. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can actually export your private key, and I think that will download it.
No, it'll show it visually, but I just want to check if that's the same one as account 2. So 8AC and then 87. Let's check that.
Okay.
Account 2.
Okay, let's go to account 2.
And the 3 dots.
Yep. Account details. For private seed. Oh wait, it is different. Never mind then. So the seed phrase is the same. Yeah. Okay, that's my bad then. I gave you the wrong information. So I was under the assumption that the seed phrase is the same.
Not too sure if even that seed phrase can regenerate all of the wallets. I'm not too sure, but I've never done that actually. But that's something that we should look into.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So my assumption was that you could. But yeah, because people do say that, if you have, as long as you have the secret phrase, you are able to get back your funds. So yeah, so that's one of the reasons that I did state that. So yeah, so it was probably my mistake of saying, the private key is the same, the private key is not the same, and hence you don't have the same public address, and it works. Yeah, it's yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Definitely, that's something I learned new today. So yeah.
And that's something like to create a new account. I hope we can export that private key in as well of it. I don't assume it's the same. But I definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Like you can add it to. He's using Edge, Brave, Firefox, Chrome, Chromium. Like all of them work. So that's a good way to test it. Just get another browser and see if it works.
Yeah.
So what in terms of the tier, like what was the thinking behind a tier strategy approach for the learning, and then what do you envision like the progression of learning incentivization to happen? So after you've established, okay, everyone in the first pool can connect to Matic and mint to NFT. How did you guys like decide like what to be on the tier 2, or like how you guys making learning incentivization that like builds upon the previous assignment?
Yeah, so the way we decided to go around with that is we're going to take the top submissions. That is, we're going to take a look at the content. So like anyway, we're going to take so the objective part of it is mostly the task itself, actually connecting to Metamask, minting the NFT. All of that is going to be same for everyone. But the subjective part of it is going to be the content. So if we actually see that you actually put an effort into making that content, right, at least for the top submissions. So what we are not restricting ourselves to maybe the top 20 or top 30. We're going to choose as many as we can. We're going to choose as many as people as we can for this, and bring them over to round 2. As long as they've created, they've put in some effort and created some good content. That is worth sharing around, and they will be brought onto round 2. And what they'll do in round 2 is now they've gotten used to how to handle NFTs. Now let's bring them onto DeFi. Now we're going to give them Matic. We're going to tell them to probably swap it into a stable coin, deposit into Aave, or maybe we might change this up, right? So recently Balancer got onto Polygon, so and also Curve is also there on Polygon, so we might even give some more complicated tasks, to try and understand how this stuff works, right? So we might use Aave, Balancer, Curve, use all of that stuff and show them how to receive interest. And you also get Matic rewards along with all of this, because on Polygon now this is Matic reward campaign that's going on, so you also get Matic rewards on top of your interest rate. So you get an interest rate of recently I think Curve had 11%. I think that might have dropped now, but you still get some amount of much better than the banks out there, most of the banks out there. So 5%, 6% of interest, and you can use that, and you can probably borrow stuff out of Aave and put that into something else. You can do a lot of stuff, right? So we'll try and introduce all of those concepts of how to actually start using DeFi in round 2. And again, it's again for beginners. So we won't be going into much complicated topics of yield strategies and all of that stuff, but just basic how to connect to Aave, how to deposit, how to withdraw, all of those basic stuff for you, so that you understand what it means to actually provide liquidity and stuff. So that is what my vision is for round 2. It's again it's just getting going a step further into the DeFi space, because we just touched on the NFTs, but the real utility comes now into DeFi, and for you to actually make passive income, or to actually save your money in a way that is not dependent on banks. So yeah. Does that answer your question? Hello?
Yeah, that definitely answers my question. I do like that progression of like an original NFTs where people are used to, and then getting them into DeFi. And I see this kind of being like a kind of a education precursor for something like Pawn Space, and like like another project that you're building. So I see that having potential to tie and integrate into that as well. And I really like kind of your approach to crypto incentivization, as opposed to just like tackling learning to doing crypto, and then making the tasks, the objectives, the ability to be reliant on things that are on chain and easier. I really like that perspective on that. So what do you envision in terms of crypto and like learning incentivization, and how it can grow? Do you have any kind of wishes for that, or how you see the Web3 space in supporting that?
Yeah, actually, I mean, I've started to see a lot of people trying to incentivize people, right? And I think incentivized learning is like one of the key things that's going to bring a lot of people to start learning this, right? Because in the traditional learning world, we are learning for out of our self-interest, but sometimes we lack the commitment, right, to do it. So sometimes having that economic incentive is going to push you an extra mile. I've seen incentivized learning. There are multiple approaches to this incentivized learning, right? There are people who use incentivized learning in a way that you put in some of your own money, you stake it up, and once you stake it, you start a course, and if you complete it, you get it back, or maybe you get some interest on top of it back. So it's like DeFi plus learning. Or there are people who like us, who are who are giving away money for actually doing these stuff, for doing these tasks, and actually for learning. And I know people who are actually now trying to build applications where trying to build a credential system. I think even my MPA is doing that, right? You're trying to create some kind of a credentialing system, not only for crypto based stuff, but also for STEM subjects as well. But you're at the end, at the core of it, you're trying to incentivize people to do that. I know of another community called as BAF. BAF is short for Blockchain Acceleration Foundation. I think they are sponsoring DefiSummer. I'm not sure, but yeah, they're also. Hello.
Yeah, they're one of the community partners as well.
Yeah. So yeah, they are also working on a digital, decentralized credentialing type of thing where, like, the vision is to connect different people and build a digital university. And now your resume doesn't have to be a piece of paper or a PDF document that you are claiming that you have done so and so stuff. But now everything is on chain, and that says, Robin has done this task, has done this task, has done this task, and he has essentially mastered all of this stuff. And you have on-chain proof of not about what you know, but what you have actually done, and that is on-chain verifiable. And that is, like, I would see the vision, right? You no longer have to now go and provide a resume. Like, anyone can create a fake resume saying that they've done so and so stuff. But now if we take incentivized learning, and we broaden that in such a scale, we could eventually change how the education system works. There are a lot of students out there who are demotivated or unmotivated to actually start studying, not actually to start studying, but to actually keep going, right? So incentives is going to be a way for them to start exploring new topics, new stuff. There are people who stay in their comfort zone. Maybe incentives can get them to move into newer directions. And I think these crypto incentives are one of the easiest ways to do that. You can't really do all of this stuff with fiat money without hitting some kind of a regulatory dispute or stuff, right? Or you might have to restrict your entire thing to a small geography. So I might be restricted to my state or my own country, right? I can't really globalize it to such an extent that crypto allows me to do it, right? So I think this is, like, super awesome, and I'm very interested to see where it goes, like, especially when it comes to incentivized learning.
And then when you talk about credentialing, like, we were actually having a community with, like, a talk with, like, DevXDAO and, like, other people about, like, bridging credentialing and reputation systems like APIs. Really, is that way the whole education system can be decentralized. We can make more holistic credentialing systems. But kind of credentialing is a little bit more easier to just kind of give a certificate on chain. It's a little bit easier than learning incentivization, which has a lot of economic considerations taking place. In your case, you got funding from the community, you got funding for Matic to do the pool, and you're distributing that out. But for when we're designing for a system for, like, us, or even for yourself in the future, it's like, how do you keep the pool reward going? And that's a conversation we had on our last workshop. And you
Hello?
to incentivize people.
I lost you there at the end. Could you repeat that, the end part you just said?
And it's like with learning incentivizations, where in our models where we're giving out, you already got funding, but for future funding, like, how do you secure that? How do you bring money in a scalable way is one of the, like, kind of pivotal questions for learning incentivization, which isn't really that much of a concern for micro credentialing.
Yeah, so the approach we're going to most probably take is it's not going to be a continuous thing, right? So the way we are structuring Uncrypted is like, it's like 1 month or 2 month event. So round one is going to last for a month, right? So it's like 1 month thing. So round one is going to be 1 month, and round two will be another month possibly, or something like that, right? So it's going to be an event based thing. So we actually have a gap to try and reach out. There are lots of people who are anyway going to they are ready to fund hackathons and all of this stuff. But now let's ask them or incentivize them. Let's tell them, hey, hackathons are awesome, but now let's try and educate these people. Are you interested in that? And I think there are going to be people or protocols at least. So we asked Polygon for a grant, and they were more than happy to give us that. And, like, they asked me how much do I want, but I didn't ask for a lot, because I just wanted to start this off as an experiment and then scale it up. I didn't, like, they would have probably given me much more if I asked for more, but I got enough that I think is enough for, like, a small scale or at least a medium scale experiment, and then I can move on. So I feel like especially when it comes to these crypto type of things, there are lots of people with a lot of money who are ready to educate people, but there are not enough people who are taking up the approach to educate. So for me, at least for this short term or medium term, we structure it as kind of like a content based hackathon where we educate people and ask them to create content for us. right? And in this way, they are not really promoting the protocol that is sponsoring us or funding us. Essentially, we could tomorrow go to Binance and say, hey, we're going to start this content-based thing, or an educational incentivized thing where people create content about your protocol. So are you interested in funding us? And most probably, 90% they're going to say yes. So that is like probably like the event-based approach you're going to take, because there are hackathons that are popping up every day, right? And if we consider this as another form of hackathon where we're not essentially building but we're educating, I think that was an approach that I would like to take. And maybe in terms of revenue to like help scale the team, we might consider taking a portion of the revenue or the donations. But for this round, our team has not taken any donations like as a commission. We are giving out whatever we have received as a contribution out to the community. We are not taking any part of it right now. Like no, there's no revenue stream. There's no profit like for the Uncrypted team over here for sustaining ourselves. So probably from round 2, we might start thinking about how to sustain ourselves in the long run. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, because yeah, so for me it would be an event type thing rather than a continued flow thing, where we are always constantly bringing in new people. For me, it's more likely going to be an event thing where we are bringing batches of people. We're going to keep it open for everyone to join, but not necessarily everyone is going to join at that time, right? So yeah, that's the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah, and I do like that perspective, because I was just thinking even for like another like our winter or DeFi winter hackathon, we're in the planning of integrating our whole like learning workshop series as like uncrypted tasks is something that I'd be interested in. And when you put it that way, I do think a lot of protocols would be interested in that too, and that could be also integrated into existing hackathons. So that is a good approach. So it's that you guys are thinking very very niche and developing your user base off of that. So I really applaud that. Anyone else have any questions? Anything you'd like to add, Robin, before we end this session?
Yeah, definitely. So if like anyone who has watched this, if you are interested in participating in Uncrypted itself, and trying to earn some amount of crypto, because we will reward everyone as long as they put up a valid submission. We will reward everyone who puts in a submission, like literally everyone. As long as you do the task, put in some kind of a content, we will reward you from the prize pool. Like 50% of the prize pool is reserved for all participants, right? So as long as you participate, you might get some amount of crypto rewards. Like based on the amount of participation, it will get diluted. So if you want to receive more rewards, you have to try and create the best content out there. So that's how we've build this thing. So yeah, if you ever want to try it out, just go to our Twitter. All the links are in our Twitter. You can just go to twitter.com/uncrypted, or you can just type it in the search bar. You can find the link to our Discord or to our link tree. Our link tree has the it has all the information you need of the website. The website is basically the Notion page, the Twitter, Discord, LinkedIn, Instagram, and the submission form. Whatever you would possibly need is there over here. And on our Twitter is where we are going to mainly ship our stuff, put up all of our major announcements. And Discord is a place where we are going to let me just pull up my Discord, or wait, so Discord is a place where we are going to have community discussion. It's a place for you to ask your doubts. And apart from all of these challenges, right, we have also partnered up with the Blockchain School, which is an blockchain educational startup. And what they'll be doing is they'll be hosting sessions every weekend on topics related to Web3, Matic, OX, Polygon. If I just go to, let me try and get, we are going to have certain sessions on the 9th of July on Ethereum, on blockchain basics. And if you are interested for all of that, right, we are having educational sessions. We're going to onboard more educational partners. We are in talks with those people. So I think we might have development based also. So currently these are more like basic stuff, and we might even get into development stuff. So if you're interested in all of that stuff, try joining our Discord. You can talk with us, you can ask us doubts, all of that stuff. You can even get mentorship from the blockchain school. Yeah, so all of this awesome fun stuff is there. Yeah, I definitely recommend you guys to try it out. Like, even if you're not gonna do much, if you're not gonna spend time a lot, you can still receive some amount of Matic as a reward. So yeah, that's all I had to say. I tried to fit in how much ever things I could. Yeah, so yeah, thank you everyone for joining. That's literally all I had to say.
Thank you for coming out.